Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think President Uhuru Kenyatta made a call to the judges in Mombasa High Court for Mike Sonko to be cleared? Or just rather, let's ask a good question. What is your interpretation of Mike Sonko's last rescue in the Mombasa case against the IEBC? Because since Mike Sonko was cleared, there have been different reactions in the political quarters. And today I read a story in Standard that tries to paint a picture that President Uhuru Kenyatta is the person that rescued Mike Sonko. My understanding would be that the problems that Mike Sonko went through in Nairobi were the problems that were escalated by frosty relationship between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Sonko. And if there is someone that really reached to the nerves of President Uhuru Kenyatta, that person is Mike Mbuvi Sonko. And so I am persuaded, or rather convinced, that there was a last button from President Uhuru for Mike Sonko to be planted in Mombasa. Let us look at the chronology, the quick chronology of events that happened before the High Court cleared Mike Sonko, before Mike Sonko won that seat, that case. But if you've been keen enough, you will realize that even though there was also friction in Nairobi through Sakaja, in the Sakaja case, but they won. Sakaja won. It was high octane issue in the capital, but again it went down. In Kiambu, there was also a case against Rangwa, that is the Kiambu senator, and last minute Kiambu senator was cleared and is going to vie through UDA. So the young politicians, one denominator in these cases is that it was touching on the political future of young politicians. Now, on Monday night, President Uhuru Kenyatta met Mike Sonko, and Mike Sonko would then become part of his team, part of the team that accompanied the president in the tour of Nairobi, where he was launching some hospitals, that is in Mwiki and Mihango in Embakasi. So that happened, and I think I analyzed here that the presence of Mike Sonko around President Uhuru Kenyatta was pointing to a bigger picture, that perhaps President had reconciled with Mike Sonko because there was a frosty relationship between the two. Then the very Tuesday evening, Mike Sonko met with Raila Odinga and Martha Karua, and you could see the two photos that emerged. There is this photo of Mike Sonko with Raila, and again there was the other one with the Mike Sonko and Martha Karua, and he was putting on the Azimio cap. So that happened after the meeting, after he accompanied the president. Then on Wednesday morning, he was cleared by the courts. So remember, Mike Sonko, if he's cleared, is going to vie there through Wiper Party. However, I have not seen strong reaction from I checked through the social media pages of Kalonzo Musyoka. He has not reacted to the Sonko's issue. I have also not seen Wiper leaders maybe lauding that move. Today, Sonko was cleared now by the returning officer in Mombasa, and I would believe that because Kalonzo Musyoka has been part of that process, part of Sonko's litigation, he was at least to accompany Sonko so that Sonko would make a grand entrance in Mombasa. So I would then maybe perceive that Kalonzo decided to at least separate from that because now he has a candidate in Mombasa, and it will not be so easy because they will be campaigning for the ODM candidate, even though Raila there was in the same car was in the same vehicle with the ODM governor candidate. Now, Standard is reporting that from that high-profile meeting between Raila, Martha Karua, and that with Uhuru and Sonko, it was agreed that perhaps President realized that Igathe had performed poorly in the debate, and I think the numbers were not showing Igathe's might. By there, I have Polycarp Igathe's manifesto here. I think it was given to me yesterday. Yeah, he has a very corporate. It's a very corporate. Is it called Brunchua? Yeah, it's a very corporate manifesto here. So President might have realized that the duo are not doing well in Nairobi, and so he decided to bring Mike Sonko and deal that Mike Sonko will get a fair chance to vie in Mombasa, but at the same time help to mobilize votes for Igathe. However, I challenge that statement. It was captured in Standard. I challenge that statement because Sonko is already a latecomer in Mombasa, and we are just 24 days to the general election. So if he is to mount a successful campaign and his candidature to get strength, then he will have to concentrate in Mombasa. So whatever is being captured here, I beg to challenge, because I don't think, and again, it will be so awkward for Sonko to vying governor in Mombasa, then come back to campaign in Nairobi. And of course, there's deep understanding. The big question is this: where does this put Abdul Swamad and Hassan Omar? Initially, when Sonko just announced his candidature in Mombasa, those two candidates merged. They ganged up, and they ganged up with the narrative that Mombasa ni yetu, and so Sonko is a visitor. However, that is there. I think, in my understanding, Mombasa contest might be reshaped between Sonko and the ODM candidate, and the UDA guy might be pushed to the wall, might be pushed to the periphery. Now, in any case, that I know that Sonko is probably going to divide the Azimio vote there, if the Azimio vote is to be intact. But Sonko is one of the politicians that cuts niche across tribes. So I understand that the supporters of Hassan Omar that might go and support Sonko, the supporters of the ODM candidate Nasir that might still support Sonko. So Sonko is going to be a compromise candidate. He has a common ground, and that is why it might not be very easy. However, if he fails, if he galvanizes the Kamba and the Wiper votes there, then the ODM candidate maintains the ODM grip, then the UDA candidate tries to get a chunk of that, then the ODM candidate still stand a chance to win. But I don't want to maybe put up my assertion on this, and of course we will leave this to Mombasa residents to explain, or that to tell us. If you are from Mombasa, you're watching this, you'll tell us on how exactly the situation is after Mike Sonko came in. In this analysis, we are going to look at behind the scene intrigues and critical political implications of Mike Sonko, on why the president decided to plant Mike Sonko in Mombasa politics. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I want to say thank you for people who share our video in different social media platforms. Asanteni sana, asanteni sana. You will realize that there is a runaway narrative and onslaught against President Uhuru Kenyatta over the port issue. And I think I questioned why Musalia Mudavadi dropped it. Because since Musalia Mudavadi made a press statement in his Westlands offices, and he was not flanked by the candidates from Mombasa, it so happened that the people that have been talking passionately about the port is the Hassan Omar and Mohamed Jicho Pevu. And this port issue has been brought together, and they have actually created a perception that President Uhuru Kenyatta, Hassan Joho, and Raila Odinga are merging to make sure that the port operations are moved from that. I don't know whether it is port operations of the port, or rather they have sold the ports. That's what they are saying. And I promised I will debunk one day the port issue. However, I see President is planting Mike Sonko there to counter those two gentlemen, because the ODM candidate is a bit friendly, and because he's a candidate that is also close to Hassan Joho, it's not very easy for him to speak passionately and counter the other team because he doesn't want to be dragged into the port issue. But now the radical politician in Mike Sonko is what the president needed, perhaps to respond and neutralize that aspect of the port. However, you realize that even Deputy President who had an element of doublespeak, and he has decided to refrain from the port, from the Mombasa port issue. So that is really a probability that is playing out. However, because Mike Sonko is coming 24 days to the poll, he is going to charge Mombasa voters. And that is going to create a bit of some euphoria, some excitement, and through that, he can pull a larger turnout. Mike Sonko pulled a big turnout here in Nairobi in 2017 and was in a position to defeat ODM candidate despite the fact that Kidero is also not a pushover. Kidero is also a very strong candidate. So I see that Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta realized that Mombasa is a bit dormant because Joho has moved and is now playing the National League. So they needed someone to at least to stay in Mombasa to charge Mombasa voters so that there will be a larger turnout. However, if you ask me, I think Sonko, the president, just wanted technically to migrate Sonko from Nairobi to Mombasa. Because if Sonko was not going to vie in this election, then he will still maybe establish a base in Nairobi. Even if he was not going to play, he will still come, fight for the cases, but then try to maybe refocus in Nairobi. And the focus in Nairobi, I can say that Sonko is a thorny issue. If he is to play, he has understood the Nairobi politics, he understands the corners of City Hall, and if there is a new, even if there is a new governor that is coming, Sonko will cause friction to the government of the day, county government of the day. So what the president might have done is let Sonko go and vie in Mombasa. If he wins, perhaps it's easy, he shall have moved to Mombasa and then leave the Nairobi issues. Or secondly, even if he's going to lose, it is very likely, it's very easy for maybe the government of the day, maybe Raila and Uhuru team, to make sure they find him something that he can do. Maybe he can get a job or some appointment, but then with the focus of Mombasa. Because one thing is this, if Sonko vies now in Mombasa and fails to win that seat, most probably in 2027, he will still focus on Mombasa. He will not move back to Nairobi. So that is what I see. President wanted Sonko out of Nairobi politics. Lastly, Uhuru is consolidating a post-presidency compact majority team. This is a bit of a contingency plan where when, even if you're out of power, you should still have people that there is a bit of that loyalty, and that's why maybe I may be wrong, but I don't think president have a bad blood with Sakaja. I don't think now he's also now friendly with Mike Sonko. At an appropriate time, you can see these politicians can still be supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta even after leaving the presidency. That's my analysis on this, but I wanted to read your feedback in the comment section. Kindly give us a very mature and constructive observation from Mombasa. Why exactly you think Sonko has been planted back? Many have looked at it as justice in the corridors of power, but for me, it is not about the justice. It is about tactical politics from the chess master.